Greg was a police officer. We met in college at Syracuse University, and we just really kind of grew up together, and then I enticed him to move out to Minnesota after graduation.
They got engaged on a snowmobile. They got married in February. They loved winter. They skied constantly.
He was an excellent father. He was very caring. He was my best friend.
He really, truly cared about people. I think that's what brought him to want to be a police officer. I also think that was especially true when it came to his family. I first met Greg and Melissa about a dozen years ago. At that point, they were newly married, just starting out in their careers, and they just wanted to make sure in meeting with us that they had all their bases covered.
We always went for our annual review and got the plan, and we would do what we were able to, and Joe provided good recommendations.
Analyzing Greg's situation, he had already maxed out the amount of life insurance coverage that he could get through his employer, the Minneapolis Police Department. As we looked at what he wanted to do for his family, if something were to happen to him, we needed to add additional coverage on top of that. And we did that both through some term and through some permanent life insurance to get the full package that he had.
He'd been treated for acid reflux for a couple of years. They did some tests and they decided something was wrong with his gallbladder. And so we were waiting for him to get in to go have his gallbladder removed. He was getting better, he was doing well, and then he started not feeling well again. He ended up in the hospital, and they took him in to do this upper endoscopy. And I remember he was like kind of coming to, and he's like, "It's really bad, I've got cancer, it's really bad." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You don't have cancer? Like, what do you mean it's really bad?" And the doctor came in and he said, "I'm sorry." Greg went through radiation, chemotherapy. He got cleared to have surgery, to have his stomach removed, and his spleen, and part of his pancreas, and more than 20 lymph nodes.
It was very difficult 2 years that they went through. Hope was always there, I think really literally, until those last hours.
So, I mean, the best thing was he died without having to give up fighting. So he never gave up.
As I sat in the back of the church at Greg's funeral, the only thing that broke the silence was the taps on the shoes of the honor guard as they wheeled in that flag-draped casket. And behind that casket was this young widow and these two young children. And it just struck me so profoundly because it reminded me so much of my own family. And I realized I was the only one that was going to be able to tell them that financially it was going to be all right. We were able for Melissa to pay off all debt that they had and fully fund educational accounts. We were able to put together short-term funds, medium-term funds, retirement funds for Melissa. We basically were able to make sure that financially everything was going to be all right.
I don't wish that anybody in this world would go through what we've gone through, but in all the bad that has happened through what we've been through, we have seen some remarkably good things out of people, out of family, out of friends, and out of the advice from Joe.
Melissa is probably one of the strongest individuals I've ever met. She's a great mother. Her daughters are phenomenal and are going to grow into wonderful people. They have the financial resources to do what they'd like. They have that support network that helped them through the illness and have helped them through Greg's death. And those three women are going to have an extremely bright future.